expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged, and you know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, and close its way under your skin. Just got out from the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles and he's Jones. We appreciate you stopping by today. Hope everyone had a great week. Right?
Of course, there's our good friend Uncle Pete. There's the URL to join the show. Come on in. We're going to be talking about diversity today. Of course, our good friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center brought to you, helping out with this show for sure. www.mchenrymassage.com. If you are stressed, they can help you be blessed.
Oh my God.
Right.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Amazing.
Because I don't know if you've been there or not, but man, you leave there and it's like, all right, time for a nap.
Yeah.
They do it
really
well.
Mr. Cappuccino, how are you?
Good morning, Drew. They actually say that a massage is equivalent to an 8 hours worth of rest.
Is that right?
Good massage.
Yeah,
right?
And
I'm like, wow.
John's got a staff full of licensed
very talented
therapists.
people.
Yeah.
Very talented people. Yep.
Listen, hey, Tim Santos, good morning.
Good morning, Tim, the Santos Agency, one of the best healthcare providers around, right?
Send your check to 216 for that commercial, Tim. Anyway, no, we love Tim. Listen, diversity. We wanted to talk about this a couple weeks ago, but then,
last week we finished up, yeah.
But then on Wednesday, coming up this week on the 4th is when we wanted to talk about the government interruption on the hashtag pocket computers.
10-4?
Yeah, 10-4, good buddy.
You like that one? I lasted that one to the other day.
Yeah. All right, so diversity. Here's a big thing that has changed a lot of the work world. Here's a thing that everybody's very, very concerned with. And if I say diversity, what's that mean to you, Scott?
Diversity to me in today's day and age is having basically different set of people, different cultures, different sets of specialities, like inside your workplace, right? We have a diverse workplace, a diverse amount of people inside the workplace.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing that comes to me when you say that. It's funny though, when you first said it, diversity, I'm thinking adversity, right? I'm like, I got this one covered. I got this one covered.
Diversity. We can be adverse.
I'm diverse, right? I mean, you're diverse, but I think it's trying to bring in a bunch of different set of skills and knowledge and thought processes and things like that together so you can all work off of each other and grow from each other and learn from each other, right? I mean, that's my first thought. What about you?
Is that everybody's thought on diversity in today's world, that we have to be very diverse, right? And I would agree with you that is the way a lot of people look at diversity.
Yeah, I would say that's a common thread, right? I mean,
however, I would say that diversity has made companies softer, has made them less productive, has retarded the industries. So to retard means to slow down, right?
Right. Okay. I was going to make sure.
Yeah. Right. So, hey, Keith, good morning.
Good morning, Keith.
Boys out there. Steve
morning,
says,
Don.
I think diversity of thought, right? And Keith says, morning. So,
has it made companies weaker?
Read diversity. Give me a Webster's definition of diversity, because
so according to the old Oxford English Dictionary, right? Diversity is defined as the practice or quality of including or involving people from a range of different social and ethnic backgrounds and different genders, sexual orientation, etc. Different strokes, different folks, different people, different ideas, right? Different thought processes. And in some respects, I mean, you said that I don't remember exact comments, but that it has softened the workplace because of diversity, because that's kind of like what people are mandating. You know, you have to hire so many different people from different backgrounds, which for me as a business owner is a tough one. I want to hire the right person for the right job. I don't care what their gender, what their background is, anything like that. I want the right person for the right job. I'm not looking at them to hire them because they're white, they're black, they're, you know, Asian, whatever. I try to be very cautious and sympathetic about that when we do these things because of the way the world is. But I just want to hire the right person, the person that wants to do the job, right? That's excited about the job. I mean, that's one thing that we talk about big time when we hire people. I don't want you here in a nice way, obviously. If you don't want to come to work and enjoy coming to work every day, let's not do it, you know. But the world now is mandating or suggesting, right, that we have more people of different backgrounds. What is Tim Santos says, well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era. Anchorman, you are right, just like San Diego.
That's right.
The whale's vagina. That I couldn't stop laughing after hearing that one, right?
I think when diversity is pushed too much, it can become toxic quick, Keith says. And again, define diversity, right? So somewhere in our great history, we took diverse, meaning different, right? Different backgrounds, different. If I have a salesman who is Caucasian, so let's say I'm the sales person,
right?
And you're the engineer. Now we're both Caucasian. We're both in our you're in the mid 50s. I'm early to mid 50s still, right?
Well, go ahead and throw me on the bus like that.
So
that's why you wear all those baseball hats.
I would say that is diverse. Okay. I would say that is diverse. People look at it and go, wait, no, you're two white guys from the Midwest and you're roughly the same age. That's not diverse at all. You guys
have different skills and different thoughts.
And I would say absolutely not. It's diverse because I'm a salesperson. I don't know the techie side, the thought. I have to agree with Don on this, in that diversity is the way people approach things. Okay, but here's what's happened in the United States, especially, is, hey, we have to be diverse. So I look at somebody from South Asia and go, you can't do this job for shit. You're not fit for this job. But you know what? You're hired. Meanwhile, Scott, who is the best fit for the job to get the best production, the best thing for my company, and I can't hire him because I have to hit a quota.
I was going to say can't or won't because of what you're wanting to put up. Well, because
I don't want to get
it's
sued.
Not stopping you, right? But you don't, because you realize that if you don't put that diversity, right, having the different people in there, the different mix, which is politically correct these days, right, your company is going to suffer. And to me, that's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Best person, best job, right? And that goes throughout anything. And, you know, even in politics, you know, Republican, Democrat, Independent, you vote for the right person, you hire the right person, not a person because of their political affiliation or their beliefs. Can they do the job that you're looking to hire them for, right? I don't care what the color of their skin is. I don't care what their religious background is. Are they right for the job? Can I bring them in? Are they going to be good for my organization, right? Are they going to help? Are they going to fit in the corporate culture, you know, or our culture? I don't want to necessarily say corporate because I'm not corporate. I'm very small. You know, we have maybe 15 employees total. I mean, so, but diversity, it makes it really tough when you have to put that stuff in the back of your head. Like when you go to hire somebody going, oh, well, they fit the job description, but do they fit what society is acceptable? Because now do I have to have so many girls, so many guys?
We here in America have taken freedom of speech probably way too far. And
we don't even have freedom of speech anymore.
And what I mean by freedom of speech is I can now just create definitions for words. I can create words and people buy into it. So we have taken inclusivity and made that diversity.
Do that again.
We have taken inclusivity, right, to include,
right,
to mean diversity. We want to include people from all around the world.
We've tied them together. Really, you should include the Asian people in your company because you have enough white American people, right?
No,
which
I don't.
gives you a diverse culture, right? I should include, right? No, am I?
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
You're supposed to include more than one race, right? Or gender, or whatever the case may be, or sexual preference, however we want to look at it, and we call that diversity. Okay, I can hire a transgender person and who thinks exactly like me.
I doubt that.
Right. And and go, ha, I'm diverse. I've got a South Asian transgender, checks boxes, but we think exactly the same.
Once again,
that's not diverse.
Once again, I'll say not a chance in hell.
That's not diverse, right? No, probably not, but that's not diverse. That's inclusive. I'm including you, right?
Well, that's not, it's according to what they say.
When I step over a person who's more capable of the job, better fit for the job, because I need to be hashtag quote unquote diverse,
right?
And that way, when you come into my store or my business, you go, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, look at all these cultures. Right. You're very diverse. They all think like me. There is absolutely no diversity here.
Right.
I'm not going to grow.
Right.
I'm going to stifle my growth, because if I bring people into my business, I want to bring people into my business who can move me forward, push my thought, right? Those type of things.
Well, right.
But here's the bottom line. We say very diverse. Oh, look at the sprinkle. It doesn't look like a Ku Klux Klan meeting here, and it's all not white, right? Or it's all not, well, I mean, African American, or it's all not.
With that
Asian.
being said, do you walk into an establishment, a business, a store, whatever, and go look at the employees and go, oh, well, diverse, or just these people are here to help me? They have a good staff.
Well, first of all, nobody's here to help you. Anyway,
no, we are at Reese's Barkery, man. That's our first thing. How can I help you?
You can send the check to
DOE, right. So I'll send a little bit, but you know what I mean? That's customer service, taking care of the people, which is completely gone to the wayside in this culture, right?
So there are corporations, the National Football League being one of them, who says, hey, you have to interview a minority for the head coach. You can't hire a coach without first interviewing a minority.
Right. So telling them that, and I don't take this wrongly, but they have to waste their time interviewing somebody for diversity's sake before they hire the guy that they really want, right? Because they want to look good in people's eyes. Because you know how it is. People out there are going to just start screaming, crying, freaking out, going, you didn't interview an Asian guy for this job. Well, he's not the right guy. So why would I interview him? Why would I waste my time? That's the one thing in world, people always talk about the one thing, right?
Yeah.
That we can't get any more of. That's time. You can always make more money. You can always buy more things, but you can never get more time. So why, for me, that comes down to a thing of time. Why do I want to waste my time interviewing somebody that really is not good for the job? Well, because I need to look good for the rest of the world and society saying, well, I gave him a chance, because if I didn't and I hired the other guy, some people are going to really be pissy, right?
Right.
Keyboard warriors. That's what I was trying to think. The people that, bitch about everything, but aren't the ones that are involved, right?
Yeah.
So those are the ones that are going to get pissy and hammer at you. So now I've got to spend my time, or my employees have to spend their time wasting time because they're trying to be politically correct and doing what our world wants in the diversity. Fuck that. I want to interview the right person. I want to interview the person that I feel is best for the job, for what we have. I don't want to do it because of diversity. When we interview people, it does bother me going, I have to even consider that aspect, right? I just want what's right. You don't want to hire a guy that sells paint to necessarily do mortgages, right? I mean, he can sell, but it's a different set of skills, right?
What are mortgages?
Yeah, what are mortgages, right? Well, it's like
I remember those back.
Yeah, it's like white paint. It just goes on and it gives you something pretty to look at.
so Cappuccino says diversity can be in thought, not just in race.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you can have diverse thoughts all the time, but
so my white Anglo American Catholic men they have different thought. When I look at this business and there's no women and there's no people of other ethnicity other than white men, you're telling me that's diversity? I'm going to push back and say, well, we're going to sue you for not hiring diverse people.
The fact that they could even actually do that, to me, just pisses me off to no end, right?
But that's diversity,
right? But it's freedom. It's our country, right? It's my country, your country.
Is it?
Why? Well, that's our fallacy, right? That's our belief.
It's not my phallic. What did you say?
It's a fallacy, not a phallic symbol.
Oh. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Is diversity a good thing? Is diversity what we actually think it is?
Well, so diversity could be a good thing if it's done because you want to do it, so to speak, not because you feel like you have to do it, right? Like, so having somebody inside a company that each person has a different set of skills that can complement, right, someone else's skill. You having a great assistant, right? Whatever, male, female, trans, it doesn't matter, but a great assistant, right, that thinks differently than you and handles things differently, you can help you do your job a lot differently. Hiring somebody like you, right, to do her job or his job is not going to work, right? So you need the right person for the right set of skills. Is that considered diverse? Yeah. Is it needed? Depends on your industry.
Is diversity something that you can see? Okay, so
well, my first thought when you say, is it something you can see? You can see it if it's in different ethnicities, right? But you don't know what's inside that person. That person could be the exact same, but they're just a different ethnic background or gender.
So I'm going to pick on.
So it's appearance. It's an appearance.
So here I am, and I own a business. And we're going to have to block Don. See, we cannot put that up on the screen.
Yeah, they should.
Let's say that I employ one Sally Santos.
Ooh, and you, Tim, we didn't hire.
And you walk in and you see one Kent Jones and one Sally Santos. Is that diversity? Or let's say you see Alice and Sally. So Alice, and you walk into the station here and you see Alice and Sally. Do you go, oh, very diverse?
No. Why would I say diverse? There's nothing different. There's two. I don't know Sally's age, but I'm close to middle-aged women working at this place. What's my diversity? Maybe in their speciality, right? So one could be a great accountant, the other could be a great salesperson. So is that diverse? Yeah, but there's still, if you come in, your first perception is two ladies, right? It's not like you have a white lady and an Asian lady. That would be considered more diverse.
I mean, she's not Asian, but
you know what I'm saying? If you come in,
if
I see two white ladies,
you come in and go, hey, that's two white ladies.
That's two white ladies. You're not diversified. I'm
very ethnically diverse.
Why are they?
Selena Santos. Think about it.
Okay. But she married into the Santos.
Well, hey, Tim, what was her maiden name?
Right. I don't believe, because Santos, Tim, I think.
See, Italian. I don't know.
I was just going to say, Tim, if you don't mind sharing with us what Santos is, my first thought process is,
Bill, good morning.
Who?
Bill Hosse's up early.
Holy cow. Good morning, Mr. Hosse.
He must have had to pee.
That was at 4:00 this morning. He's still up.
Those two TWO individuals could be completely different.
Tim says, what if she identifies as an Asian?
Well, right.
She could, but when you walk in, I look at that, and that's not something I'm going to see. I'm going to see commonalities.
That's what Cappuccino says. I can identify as a Black Chinese woman and fill my quota. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't even see that. You can identify, and you might even fit the bill. You know what I mean?
Right. So that's what I'm saying about diversity. I think we've gone way off the deep end and said diversity is inclusivity.
Well, and I think what the first thing
is, so now I can't hire for the absolute best. I can't hire the best person. You know why? Because I got too many white guys.
Right.
So I have to go with the Filipino transgender.
Right. Well,
thingiting.
So the thingiting. So the thing with the like the two women, right, coming in with Sally and Alice in here, they are diverse, but they're not diverse in culture. And I think that's
how do you know?
thing. Well, no, but
they are very diverse in culture.
But at first glance, you see two white women, right? What people, for whatever reason, want to see in this world is different ethnicities, different backgrounds, right? I mean, that's diversity to them. It's not diversity is the person inside are totally different. Those two ladies could be polar opposites and bring in just amazing amounts of talent that you need. Doesn't matter what their skin color is. It shouldn't matter what their skin color is. But
that's diversity. Skin color is diversity.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. How did skin color become diversity, right? Well, inclusivity, right?
Yes.
But when did that? It really, actually, if you look at it, doesn't fit the bill, right? Because skin color shouldn't make you diverse. It makes you different.
That's very diverse.
It's very diverse, but it's not.
Yeah. And we found out that everyone is Italian. That's right.
Hey, you're Italian.
That's
Thanks,
right.
Drew. With that, you know what? My son and I giggle with that every day
Sally's
about being Italian.
maiden name is Guy. She is French, but does have some Spanish in her, though. At least a couple. Hey, at least a couple times a week.
Good for you guys. You'll stay married forever, a couple times a week, huh? Coming from a couple old farts, it's like, hey,
awesome, right?
I'm more lucky to wake up a couple times a week.
So that's what I'm saying. So she's French. She's got French background, right? So very diverse. But you put them side by side, they look like sisters.
White women,
right. So the when I have to go out and be diverse to somebody's eyes because they don't want to have a conversation to see how much diverse people are other than looks, I ruin business. I ruin somebody's business. I'm not as productive as I can be because I really wanted to hire Shayna, but she's a white lady. And I've got my quota of white ladies here. If I have too many white ladies, somebody's going to get upset that I don't have somebody from Bangkok.
Right. And that sucks.
Right.
That you even have to think about that in your day, right? That this is going to take so much more time out of your job and or out of your life and time to interview people because you're wanting to be, I don't even want to say politically correct because to me, it's not something that's a politically correct thing, right? They're making it a politically correct thing, right? For me, and it always has been, right person, right job. Don't care who it is, what it is. Right person, right job. I mean, they're making it so hard these days when you interview people to even really get to know who they are, right? You can't ask them their age. You can't ask them, you can't ask them anything other than their name, where they went to school, where they worked, and if you can talk to them. So how do you get to know somebody?
Before Uber and Lyft, did you ever just jump into a taxi cab and go, wonder where the white guy is driving taxi?
Did I ever wonder? No, because that was.
But let's talk about
but that was something
diversity.
That was right. That was something we came to expect as a cab driver had a certain MO, right? If you got into a cab back in the day in Chicago, like in the 80s and 90s, and it was a white dude and the car smelled good, I thought I was going to get killed. That I'm not joking because it was always the stinky, guy that couldn't talk very good English, drove like the Dickens, right? But you knew that's what it was because that was the I don't want to say the culture.
Had no vowels in their first name.
No, right. But I don't want to say Sven. Wait, no, Sven has a vowel.
Yes, it does.
Okay, Igor has a vowel. You're killing me here. But anyway, so yeah, that was like, that's what you expected. That was the norm, right? Well, now, I mean, they even have cabs anymore, really. I mean, I was just in Chicago yesterday and I saw a few, but most of them were freaking Ubers, dude.
Yeah.
It used to be a day when you drive downtown Chicago, all it was yellow cabs, big old taxi, the big old marathons, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's like we stopped in Lincoln Park.
Had the 55 Chevys.
Yeah.
They were all
Well, we stopped in Lincoln Park on our way home from our conference last night. Had some dinner, right? And we're on the little veranda eating. And the amount of Ubers that drove by, because that's kind of almost like DePaul, right?
Yeah.
The amount of Ubers that drove by and their Priuses and shit, and their lifts, with the little lit up thing.
Yeah,
and it's anybody and everybody. I mean, talk about a diverse amount of people driving you around. But I'll tell you what, they do not like Ubers down there because they drive like shit. I like 4 or 5 different people Friggin' Ubers. That's
so Shayna says the pendulum seems to be swinging back as of late. People are done with the weaponization of empathy. Rise of the realist.
love you, Shayna. She ain't wrong. She ain't wrong. I mean, people are finally starting to, I don't want to say fight back, but realize that really, let's just do what's right. Let's do what I need, not what somebody else thinks I need or feels is the right thing. Because I know my business. I know what's right for me, and you don't. So stay the fuck out of my hiring practices.
Yeah. So Cappuccino says, I never looked to fill a diverse quota in my companies. It turned out to be diverse based on hiring for skill set and mindset.
Well, that is what your diversity inside your corporation or business should be, is your mindset and skill set. It has nothing to do with color, ethnicity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Family background, history, nothing. It should not, because that, to me, that muddies the water.
Yeah.
Right. Because now my criteria for a job has become now, and I'm going to use this just because now my criteria for a job has become skin color or gender. Right.
Oh.
Why do I care? Unless you're specifically hiring, like, you know, for a female job, and I like, and I'm
right.
I was gonna say no,
go in
no,
here.
right, no, but something that, like, only a female can do, like body waxing, you know, for ladies. I mean, men could do it, but if you're hiring for that, I'm trying to think of what is only something
So
that
we've gone from diverse to sexist.
I'm not trying to be sexist. I'm trying to look at what
gynecologists can only be women, right?
No. I don't know why any man would want to be a gynecologist. By the way, would you?
A nanny can only be
no. There's no specific only jobs for women.
You're high.
Here. So send your emails to Scott at 216thenet, please. When you, but you know what I'm trying to get at, right? As far as now, let's just move on. Right? I know when I'm digging myself a hole. I'm trying, and I'll spit it back out later, right?
When you get to the bottom, stop digging, right?
That's right. Well,
Don says,
hey, I know when to shut up. I've been married for 30 years.
Don says, when I think of any group, ethnic, race, rich, poor, old, young, I have found I love some in each group and don't really like some in each group. Why? The groups are diverse. Well,
there's different reasons that you like them and don't like them.
We can have rich Asians and poor Asians, and we can have young Asians and old Asians, and young whites. And as long as the ones you like are all white, then is there diversity?
They're all right. All right is all white.
I just
Isn't that what they say allegedly?
No.
That was in the show.
Never.
No, that was
never.
Grown Ups. He said,
no.
Oh, yeah.
No, never.
Not from the station.
Not on the never.
Kent at 216.net.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Death threats now.
The bots are going to start kicking in soon.
So hey, look, JH Events and Flowers, $5 Friday. Stop by, get some flowers for somebody. Just a $5 bouquet. Fresh flowers, always
wonderful
always people. Brings people together. Much
right
like
there
this
at
diverse show.
Right there at Green Street and Bull Valley or Charles J. Miller Road.
But I dislike all radio hosts. Yes, of course.
Thanks, Steve.
That's right. Yeah, appreciate that, Steve.
Shayna says, you can never fill another's bucket. Ever wonder if you won the lottery, how much of your winnings would be right amount to give to relatives? Zero.
Why?
Why would I just give it to him just to give it to him?
Why not? You worked hard for that. You worked hard for that $2 ticket. Yeah. Holy cow, I stressed a lot over that $2 ticket that they gave me $800 million for.
But I mean, how much is the right? How do you figure something like that out?
I know exactly. I know exactly what I would do.
Well, I know we talked about this before. Here's your one lump sum. Don't ever come back to me again.
I would buy all their debt. Here you go. I'm going to buy your debt. You're debt free. Now go live a happy life. Don't ask me for any more. That's the right amount. But some people may not be too much in debt. They may only have $10.
Right.
I get off free. But if I do the same thing for my family,
but do you feel? But if you won that, do you feel obligated to do that? And why?
I feel obligated to do it now, and I'm not.
I feel
obligated to do it now, and I haven't won the lottery.
Right. I want to be able to do it, you know, and that's kind of why we hit it off so well. I want to do it. Same with Drew Cappuccino, right? We want to help people, right? Give back to the world. I mean, givers get.
Yeah.
But it also makes you feel good, and you know, and it's the right thing to do. But for somebody to say, what's the right amount? The right amount's different for everybody. But for me, if I want something like that, there should not be an assumption that I'm going to help you out. Because where were you when I needed help, even though it's not monetary?
So the
money.
focus on your organization should always be your mission critical processes. If your company is based out of America, you are already hiring in a diverse pool. Absolutely. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter ethnicity. Ethnicity is not necessarily, it is diverse, but it's not necessarily diversity, right?
That statement's
and
right on.
No matter the answer, it's wrong in someone's eyes, and
always
end up being the bad guy.
Well, you can't please everybody all the time, and that's the problem. And too many people think about, I need to please everybody. How about do what's right for you and your organization first, and Bill, then worry about it.
I would absolutely give to friends, but you are one too many white guys, and I have to give it diversely. So sorry, you lose out.
Yeah, you lose out on that one.
Yeah,
I'd give you whatever I got, buddy. You know that. Oh, I'm just kidding.
How about that Corvette? You're going to give that to him?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's right.
Oh, that little Matchbox car in my truck?
Yeah, that's right. Just so you know.
Oh, he's crying now. Sorry, Bill.
I always have to be very diverse with my money.
Yeah.
Right. So there's that as well. If you're diverse with your money, you put it in different platforms, you put it in different things.
That's diverse or diversifying, if you want to put it from a financial standpoint.
Same word.
So if you look at it from that standpoint, that is smart, super smart to be diversified.
So is hiring diversely.
No, it's not. That has become a political thing. That has become what other people feel is right for you and your business.
No. You want to have different thought. That's diversity. Diversity is different thought, different ideas. It's not different skin colors.
Right. Okay. Right. That's what they're trying to make it is different.
Correct. That's what I'm saying is that we have taken the word diverse and and instead of understanding how we're diverse, we now take a look and see. If I can't see diversity,
right,
then there is none.
Right. And that's wrong. That is 100% wrong, because it shouldn't be visual. Diversity is your skill set, in my mind.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where a lot of things in the world have come to the point where how you are visually seen, right?
Yeah.
You visually see the diversity in my workplace, but you have no idea, because it could be the worst setup in the world. But I had to hire because I didn't want people blowing me up on Facebook, because I don't have a young person. I don't have a male. I don't have a female.
Exactly, Don.
Don, what did you say? We have somehow got it to where the only diversity is racial diversity.
Yep.
Right. And how does that fit in? It doesn't make sense. Right. He says, really a sad statement to think certain groups are all the same. Once again, you're not wrong. You're totally right. And how did it get to that point to where being diverse meant where you come from or what your skin color or gender is, right? Ethnic background. I don't know how it got changed to that. And
that's what I'm saying.
Right. And why? Well, I guess I take that back. I know the why.
That's why we bring this up.
Yeah, I know the why. I mean, obviously, any issue we have, what do? We ask the why.
People who know me, and for all the bots out there listening on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all that good stuff, I want you to know I love diversity. I love diversity in thought. I love diversity in personality. I love diversity in skin, right? I love diversity in age. Listen, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm saying the way that America has put it now.
Well, they put restraints on you
is that instead of real diversity in thought, real diversity in experience, I have to say that because you are South Asian, born in Philadelphia, that you have now a different approach to things. You're more diverse than I am, who's a white guy who grew up in Iowa, right? So now we could have come from the same town. We could have studied the same things. And we're saying that that's diversity just because of what I see and not what I understand. And that's terrible.
Yeah, not what they bring to the table. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Don. Really sad to think certain groups are all the same. Absolutely. Right. This is why people pay for artificial intelligence. That's what I've gotten over all these years. Thank you. So that's where I'm coming at, is to understand that, I don't think diversity is a bad thing. Right. But I also think it's something different than what the New American and the narrative is pushing it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, it's the reason diverse, like you said, diversity is a good thing. Why?
Let's say that there's a homosexual who likes a little Spanish a couple times a week in there.
Spanish class,
right? Feels the same as Sally, who's French, right? But because this person is homosexual, that's diversity. Even though they think the same way and like the same Spanish injection a couple times a week.
That's Kent at 216.
I'm just saying, right?
I don't know what you're saying. I didn't go in there,
right?
But yeah, I hear what you're saying. But
so to me, that's
diversity is different.
To me, that's not. Hey, their sexual preference is different, so that's diverse. It doesn't matter because I'm in the radio business, and I don't care what your sexual preference is. I want different. We have a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of not similarities, right? There's diversity in a lot of our thinking as well. I mean, that's the beauty of 216 Creator Studios is the diversity, the creative diversity. I want creative diversity. I don't want. Right. I don't want a bunch of Kents going, yeah, that's a great show.
No,
right.
We'd have
a bunch of grounds,
different diverse talent and people on these shows, and that's one reason that we are successful. Right. I mean, someone's not going to want to sit there and listen to the same shit all day long every day. Right. They want different people, different backgrounds, different thought processes, and that's what makes people grow and think. You're hearing the same shit all the time.
How diverse are we? Now that AI and robots are going to be running everything. You walk in and you see a bunch of robots. Is that diverse?
Well, yeah, because one's got a different computer chip than the other.
Listen,
they painted them a different color.
I'm just saying, right?
One could be R2D2, the other could be
scary
C3PO.
Problem,
right? Well, in some instances, it's going to come to that.
Thanks for saving the show, Don. Appreciate that. All right, so
thanks, Don.
So the question that I bring out to everybody here is
how'd you piss him off?
How do you stop it? How do you stop this incessant insanity to please everybody's eyesight?
It starts with you.
When it's not the best thing for your business, it's not the best thing for your family, perhaps it's not the best, or whatever.
We have to start doing things. All right, Don's chiming in. We have to start doing things that make sense. For what you want, and you hire for the best, not because someone else is going to be the big diverse people in there.
Right.
Hire for your business and understand that you're probably going to get some flack, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's your business, it's your life. You should be able to do what you want and understand that you'll probably get some pushback, but in your heart, at least I know in my heart, when we do the things that we do, we're doing it for the right reasons. At least we hope we're doing it for the right reasons.
Hey, don't cover up that sign behind you. Get a little shout out to your
Church Point. Yeah. What is that?
Decision Point.
It says diversity is helping unqualified people hold positions that dilute the integrity of the organization. Math is math. Upper body strength differs between sexes, etc.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
It for sure.
Yes.
You're not going to hire a little, 70-pound skinny girl to, haul around 100-pound bags, even though she might be able to pick it up. Yes. That wouldn't be for me, a prudent decision as far as an employer, right? You want to get someone that's definitely stronger.
So let me ask
not hurt themselves.
Let me ask you this: why did you go with a 70-pound woman?
She may be 70-pound man.
She may be much stronger than a 150-pound man.
Because the perception.
Why did you assume that upper body strength differs between sexes meant that the female was the weaker?
That's the way I know, right? Wow, that's the way I was raised, huh? I'm a sexist.
That's why we took ourselves off the screen and you just see that.
I know. So you did that. I'm like wondering, why am I only seeing myself? It's kind of scary.
You're good looking, man. We got to make sure the world sees you, bud.
There you go. Thank you. I was wondering if it was something on my end. And I'm over here,
get me off that screen.
Checking my settings and stuff. I thought maybe you just didn't want the third white guy on the show, right? Yeah.
We're very diverse. We're very diverse. We got 3 white guys. That's diverse.
Yeah, you will hire her as a firefighter if you need to meet diversity quotas.
Right.
Well, Kent, one thing I wanted to say, I mean, your comment about 2 white guys, so there's 3 of us sitting here, man, I have I know both of you well enough to know, man, we have diversity of thought amongst the three of us. That's pretty broad and totally cool.
Right. And when he says broad, ladies,
yeah, I don't mean ladies. Yeah. But yeah, it's just the diversity of thought between just the three of us is what makes this kind of show fun, first of all.
Right.
And it's man, it just pains me when we talk about this subject, because I certainly understand the genesis of the racial diversity, because some of the things in our history. So it's one of those you try to understand, but the solution is not just like some of the things you guys have been talking about. The solution is, I need to know you, not what color your skin is or where you came from. Yeah. Just because you came from Mexico doesn't mean anything about you other than you came from Mexico.
Right. And you're not going to have any more, I'm not going to hire you just because you came from there.
Yeah. I mean, right? you remember growing up 60s and 70s, that if you had tattoos, you were either a sailor or in a motorcycle club.
Biker.
Right.
Or if you wore an earring, now everybody's a guy who wore an earring. Yeah.
Now everybody's tattooed to the nth degree. It's
right.
Crazy.
And now most of the people who ride motorcycles are doctors, attorneys, people can afford those big things.
Slumlords.
And so, so I agree with you. That was one of the best things about Coffee with Pete. That's kind of where this
that's where it grew from.
This grew from is if you walked in, I always said that, hey, well, let's ask the Mexican in the room how that feels. Because there was a bunch of white folk in there.
It was.
Right. However, there was a
very diverse setting of white folk in there.
Right. Right.
All you had to do was listen to the conversation one time, and you're like, yeah, these people don't all think the same. That's for sure.
Oh, no. Those conversations would go nuts, and that's what I loved about it.
Right. So
other than I couldn't hear.
So if you're an equal opportunity employer, right? So you tout yourself as an EOE, then that's exactly what you are. And that means that I put you through the same set of tests that I put everybody in the hiring process. And I chose the best one for my business. Not, you know what, Scott? I'm going to we're going to keep in touch, but I have to hire, this Russian because I gotta hit. I don't want anybody to think that we're not diverse. Right. So sorry, you probably are the best for the job, but so let's keep in touch. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, what?
Right. See, for me, I couldn't do that. It would make me nuts thinking that I hired the wrong person because I had to bring him in because of what other people thought. Not saying we haven't done it at one point because of things, but we generally will only hire on merit and whether you're going to fit in or not. I mean, male, female, it really does not so much matter. But unfortunately, that's something you kind of have to think about. My wife's brought it to my attention many times, and God bless her because she is so up on that stuff. But, that's what Pete did for a living, right? Was HR, which is that type of thing, right? Paying attention to make sure you're hiring the right people, the right amount of people, and they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That just muddies the waters, right?
If you buy into the media, the chip on your shoulder will seem justified. I say break bread with someone and you see more authentic people. Now, absolutely. But I'm going to tell you this. We are the media.
Yep.
That's why I said I don't like all radio.
We're just not skewed. We're just not skewed. And we are the media. We're not skewed and we're not owned by a big corporation. But we're not owned. No, because we're not owned by a corporation that tells us what we can and can't do.
Well, yeah, the DOE certainly does that.
Oh, a big corporation. So you're telling me what I can't say?
Define big. We're huge. We're worldwide.
Worldwide.
1.6 is listeners across the globe.
Right.
That we do. That we do.
Right. Media adjacent. Yes. Exactly.
It's a juggernaut.
Yeah. So
you're saying we're controlled by the left side or the right side?
My issue with diversity isn't that it's not needed. It is.
Right.
My issue with diversity today in America, and I can't speak for the rest of the world because I'm not in the rest of the world, right, is that we have taken it to a place that says you are diverse if I look through your window and I can spot diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it
not understand it?
Why is it for me? Why does it seem like only corporate and business world has this diversity hold or what like in sports, they don't say you have to hire certain.
NFL does.
They do in the coaches, not in the players, but in the
but on the
players.
Right, the players. That's what I'm saying. Well, wait, you don't have enough. Like in football, there's definitely more.
I don't know, and I wouldn't say that.
Right. Well, there's definitely
basketball. You can
division.
say that safely. Basketball, you can say that safely. I'm not so sure about football.
Okay, so all right, so basketball, right? I mean, wait, you don't have enough white guys.
Well,
right? You need to hire so many on your team.
Let's talk about axe throwing or bowling, perhaps.
Okay.
Right,
guys.
Well, I'm just curious why you guys jumped all the
bowling is dominated by white people. I think, isn't it? Yeah,
you went right to a sport with a majority of African Americans. I don't know
because
why
that's
you
the
went
easiest
there.
one for people to understand. That
why not go bowling? That's a ton of white people.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah,
right. Golf. Well,
but you know what?
But bowling is not a team sport. Bowling is an individual sport, so you're not getting hired to a bowling team.
But I think
no, you're not. You're a professional. You're on your own.
There's 4
pro bowlers is on their own. They're not.
Kent makes a good point though that it is mostly white people. But guess what? The same thing happens to people that bowl in terms of certain things are applied to them sometimes that are overlaid on the entire group. Where within a group of bowlers, there is a plethora of diversity of thought.
Correct.
And it's just, so the same thing applies, whether it's the basketball, the bowling. Yeah, I agree. It's, the basketball or bowling is an individual thing. And there's not a lot of, I guess there is pro bowling, but yeah, it's just, we do the same thing to too many groups. Like I said, bowlers, thankfully the bowling alleys have been upgraded. So it doesn't have that old stigma of the smoke filled room and,
right.
But it's another classic example of how we overlay certain things just because they bowl.
Right.
And that's stupid.
Right. Unbelievably stupid.
Right.
It's annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying.
Right? The fact that you even have to chit chat about it is like, I don't want to say wasting time because it's not. It's figuring out everything out. But those are the things that's like, all right, did we really need to do something like that? Does it need to be that way? My mind, no.
Right.
I'm different. I think a lot differently than most people.
Yeah.
I think like a lot of
that's
issues,
good because that makes me who I am.
Like a lot of issues we face today, the solution isn't a law or regulation or this. The solution, which is hard to get to, is changing hearts and minds, not changing a law. But we think we have too many people that think, we just pass a law or whatever. And you guys talked earlier about the NFL thing. It's almost kind of embarrassing. Is that I feel bad for some of these coaches that get interviewed because they had to interview a minority, and that poor minority knows he or she is going there and doesn't have a shot. Yeah. So the only value is maybe the experience of the interview. But I always almost cringe when that they've already picked the person they want to hire. Yeah, they do that. I don't know, and I think we've even had minority coaches turn down such interviews because they kind of see it for what it is. It's just I got no shot here. So
right. For me, once again, though, with the sports thing, it comes down right person, right job. Doesn't matter who they are, skin color, gender, whatever. I mean, you can have a lady coach, you can have a male coach. It's merit based. Are you the right person for the right job? Plain simple. For me.
Well, that's how I look. And I'm going to say it again. Like in NFL coaching, there has been a quote unquote issue. If you ask me if historically have they kept minorities from being coaches, I'd probably say I think there's been an element of that. So I don't deny the existence of a problem, but it's the solution sometimes is just worse than just aggravates or makes the problem worse. And I wish I had a better solution for the NFL, for example. But again, it's more about getting to know individuals. To me, I think one of the best coaches in the NFL is Mike Tomlin for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah. And he's not one of the best coaches because he's black. He's one of the best coaches because he's one of the best coaches.
I was just going to say, hey, he's a good coach.
And I love the fact that he's there and he's successful because it does help with if there are owners who are a little reluctant in that area. That's just one more opportunity for them to hopefully see past that and think differently, not be forced into an interview differently. They need to think differently before they hire that minority coach. Just because they're told they have to or have to interview doesn't mean they're going to hire one. That doesn't solve anything.
Right.
It has to be their hearts and minds have to change if they are not hiring based on race.
Right. And I think it's okay for us as a populace to go, you know what? It's okay if a particular a particular business or a particular field is more from the view of it, right? And let's use right now engineering, right? Engineering right now. I have a niece who is an engineer, and she's incredible. And the battles she has to fight,
Right,
because she's female.
Yep.
But she's white, right? But
what is she fighting?
Because
the male-dominated field, yeah.
The male-dominated field. Now, there's a ton of diversity in that male-dominated field.
Yeah.
But
Ethnic
not
diversity,
on the
yeah.
sexual diversity. Right? Well, we'll bring her in. Right? She has at the company she's at, I'm not going to say, she's been looked over for some key positions, yet the people in those key positions come to her for answers. Right?
Which means they're not, the people inside there are not doing their job by paying attention to the assets they have
because of diversity.
Right. Well, they're looking at the gender more than the quality.
Correct.
They're looking at the gender more than the quality or the skill set, and that's sad.
Right. So
that makes it way more difficult just to function in a business. Right. Because now your decisions have become compounded, more difficult. And and that's what, for me, that's what one of the biggest problems with the world is today. They're making everything hard. They're making it difficult.
Right.
Not maybe a lot of things should be stupid, simple. What's the old thing? KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Well,
we're just clouding and mudding everything. Yeah. Right.
Shana says the biggest issue is others telling you who you are based on their own projections. I agree with you. And that's where we have come to say that is diversity. No longer is it diversity in thought. No longer is it diversity in abilities. It's now diversity in sight. I've got to be able to see
visual diversity.
Oh, great. You're very diverse. I see a white, a black, an Asian. I see a transgender. I see somebody in a wheelchair. Oh, you've got the best running business in the world. You're so diverse. Meanwhile, these people just sit around and go, well, they can't fire me because of good luck.
Yeah.
Right. ADA.
Yep. Well, Kit, you raised your example of your niece, and I'm not going to put your niece in this category. I don't know who she is, but there is a trap in that as well. Because oftentimes you'll hear stories, well, I didn't get the job because of X. I'm a woman, I'm a minority, I'm a that.
Right.
As if that's the only possible reason they didn't get the job.
I get that.
And because I've known some white people who recently didn't get promoted, and they blamed it on the fact that now we're not promoting or hiring whites, which there is some statistical evidence of that. But I remember thinking, no, it's because I don't think you're very good at what you do. It's why.
And that's right. And that's what's absolutely horrible, because that's the first thing that people will put in there. Oh, it's because. And then,
and boy, that's a real healthy environment to be in. Is it the minute I didn't promote you, it's because I'm racist?
Doesn't matter if we're talking diversity of sex. Doesn't matter if we're talking diversity of skin.
Yeah.
When it comes to talent, it might just be you weren't as talented.
But think about how that makes that person feel. If they feel that they got stepped over, for one, because she was female or because she was not of ethnic background, right? So then you're not going to want to work for that company very well, are you? Because you're feeling slighted and pissed off. You're like, hire me on my merit. That's what you hired me for. You hired me to do a job. You didn't hire me to be a certain ethnic person. You didn't hire me to have a certain, thought process. You hired me to do a job. I can do that job better than anybody else. Pay me for that. Move me up the charts. And that's really frustrating.
I have two daughters, and I would encourage them. I encourage them, and they didn't really go in fields, but I say go into fields. Like engineering is, to me, I think is a good field for a female. Even though they may face some challenges, I think on the flip side, because of the quote unquote diversity movement, you might have in some cases, you might have someone that wants to hire you because of that. Again, I don't want any of my daughters to get hired just because they're a female. I want them to get hired because they're the right person for the job. But, there is something to be a trailblazer and break through some of those things. And in some cases, it might be to your advantage to work in a field that is not traditionally whatever group you're in.
No, so, I know a lot of women who are construction workers. I know a lot of women who are, work for ComEd, and they get up on the poles and,
whoa.
No, don't go there, Scott. Don't go there.
I know, that's why I'm making sure. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
And Bill says a human being is a human being. Wouldn't life be better if we got that?
Amen, brother. Yeah, individual.
That'd be a tough one.
But there are a lot of assholes out there. So,
right.
I mean, there are
human beings are human beings, but some of those human beings are assholes. Some of them are crooks. Some of them are dishonest. Yeah. But seeing a person for who they are, not what they look like. Right.
But not anyone in one particular group is one of those things. And that's what's happened. Yeah.
Right. It's trying to compartmentalize everything. Yep. You can't do that.
So the unfortunate thing, what does Shayna say here before I give this thought in the last 5 minutes?
How tempting to believe it's your category that held you back. It might make you stunted in your growth. Sucking at a job is a wealth of knowledge that shouldn't be denied.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Well, you got to learn somehow.
So the issue with diversity is this. We do not seek first to understand. We seek first to be understood. Right?
100%.
And what I mean by that is I don't want to take the time to understand how the people in your company are diverse. I want to understand just by looking that they're diverse. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, you're not.
So the whole issue is until we come back as a society to seek first to understand rather than to be understood, right, is always going to be a problem. And as long as people can continue to define terms and make it acceptable, and it goes into the court of law, and a judge, whichever side of the courtroom they sit on, goes, yeah, not diverse. You're sued. Now, right? Because somebody put a definition out there who said diversity is what I see, not what I know.
Right. It became a visual instead of an intellectual.
And until we seek first as a society to understand rather than to be understood, then until we get back to that point, we're going to have issues, right?
And everybody in the world today, or a lot of people in the world today, like you said, first seek to understand. So everyone wants just to be right. They don't want to necessarily hear what you're saying. They want their voice heard. They don't necessarily want to understand where you're coming from. They want you to understand where they're coming from.
Just laying it out there,
right? And you're not wrong by any means.
Dick, my most commented on T-shirt, which I wouldn't be wearing it today, but. Is I'm a big craft beer fan. So the most commented shirt that I can wear out in public is one that literally says "Celebrate Diversity," and then it shows like 7 or 8 different kinds of beer and glasses. And I tell you, I can't tell you how many people look at that and just think, give me a nod, a smile, a thumbs up. It's
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's a little poke at. It's a little bit of a poke at what we call diversity today too. So
that's a good way to get people thinking.
Listen. My daughter turned 21. My middle daughter. Right?
Man, you're getting old.
21 yesterday. I've got 4 kids. They look like my wife and I. So by looking at them, you would say not diverse. Each one of them is different as the day is long. They are so diverse, but they grew up in the same house.
I hear you. Right?
That's a beautiful thing.
My 3.
So that's what I'm saying is, yes, you can get same-minded people. You can put your white sheets over your head, but even those people are diverse in some way, right? Even though they play for the same cause or whatever. But what I'm saying is, we have generalized, we have thrown people in the same bucket, and we have stopped trying to understand, right? We want to be understood, right?
True.
Yeah. Did you know that a white-faced cappuccino monkey, capuchin monkey is one of the top 10 most fierce.
Well, so just so you know, I know a guy that knows more about the white-faced capuchin monkey than anybody in the world.
Probably in the top 3.
In the top, top 3. He's got at least 5 years experience.
Yeah, at least 5 years.
I thought it was top 20, but top.
And you know what? He's Italian.
He's Italian.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
And he knows Goomba. He knows Goomba.
He's got Goomba. He's a good buddy.
Once I understand I'm dealing with a closed mind, I move on. It bugs me when people assume I don't understand when I do and just disagree. Amen.
Lovely point to that.
So many people in the world need to do that, you know.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I've been saying.
So I
for
find
years.
myself, right? I find myself sometimes when you get with a closed mind person trying to break that mind open, and I just, it's futile, but I always try to make them look at things, and that's why I always throw out some, you know, in a lot of terms, some crazy questions just to make them really try to think, right? Like, hold on a second, you're so closed mind. Think about it from this standpoint. And my wife is the one that's done that.
Listen,
so you know.
Coming up here in a half hour, we've got The Bridge with Kelly Vance and Phil Wallace. Is it better to write a check or actually hand deliver the cash? In other words, in today's world, is it better to just write a check and forget about things and feel good about it, or actually get involved, get your hands dirty with things? We've got a great guest who's coming in. She's done a lot in the world too. Absolutely. You know, it's going to be a great show. So come back in about a half hour.
Decision Point would accept both, Jake.
Yeah, hey, you may want, if you've got time, you may want to jump on this one. Give you a shout out too.
Is that 9 o'clock?
Yep.
I love Kelly Vance. I saw her name. I know Kelly from our church up there when I lived in Chicago.
Yeah.
Hi,
awesome
Kelly.
awesome realtor. You got to check out the show.
Yeah,
like he says,
I might just do that. I have a 9 o'clock that I might just move just for you guys.
Lot of really good discussions and topics on that show. It's a lot of stuff that's very, very, very viable today.
You see Bill Hasse out there, Innovative Strategies, new episode this week. Of course, then we've got the Success Journey podcast at 11:30, and then we've got In the Know with Steph and Joe coming up at 3, and all good stuff all day long here on 216 Net. If you haven't, follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just look up 216 the net, ring the bell, get subscribed, get all that stuff. You'll get notified. The more we can grow that, the more things that we can do to change the world one listener at a time, and bring great thought-provoking shows like, well, not the grounds, but anyway, well,
and that's what we're here for, right? Is to make you guys actually think. I mean, that's kind of the way this whole podcast kind of got together, right? Through you know, Coffee with Pete and the grounds, and talking about just anything and everything that's through your head, trying to expand ourselves, trying to make the world a better place every day, you know, hence DDOE, you know, daily dose of encouragement, helping push people up and further, right? To go harder, to push themselves, to question themselves. So I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you.
We can't thank Steve enough for joining us, Steve. Appreciate what you do all the way from Texas there. You know, we don't want to
I love my alias. I love it.
Yeah, that's right.
But we appreciate you guys tuning in.
Today, I think I could have been Don today. Yeah.
There you go. Yes, you could. That's it.
Have a good day,
Listen,
guys.
Promise here at 216 Net. Thanks for getting caught in the net. Come back in about a half hour for The Bridge. Good stuff all day long. Appreciate y'all.
Have a great weekend, guys.